A system is a repeatable process. Write it down for yourself, because a system is the basis of, or the center of everything that we're doing in business. Okay? A system is a repeatable process that you can do it again and again. A repeatable process that generates a profit. Okay? That generates a profit. A business system is a repeatable process that generates profit. And when people don't understand the definition, they make all kinds of funny mistakes. For example, you can sit for 6 hours every single day on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter or whatever social media you want, and every day it's a system. Every day you're going to sit for 6 hours, and at the end of the week, every week you're going to get 100 euros as a result of that. You will see 100 results in sales or whatever it is. Okay? So people say it's a system. What do you mean? I'm sitting for 6 hours every day, 5 days a week. By the end of the week, I made 100 euros. That's repeatable, right? Yes, it's repeatable, but it doesn't bring a profit. Unless you think that 30 hours a week of working for 100 euros, that's profit, and some people do. Okay, but I hope you don't. Okay? Another system that people think is they say, well, I'm putting a brochure, I put flyers. I send flyers, 1,000 flyers every week, and I see as a result of that is 350 euros. Every time. So every time that I'm sending 1,000 flyers, I'm seeing 350 euros. That's fantastic, okay? But is it a system, a business system by our definition? You need to ask another question. How much it costs you to send 1,000 brochures every week? Yeah, it cost me 1,000 euros. So right now, you have a repeatable process that generates a loss, right? You repeatedly do every week, you spend 1,000 euros in order to get 350 euros. In my definition, that's not a system. It's true, it's a repeatable process, but it generates a loss. So I cannot call it a system. A business system is generating always a... Do you understand? Guys, do you understand? Okay, this is important. Okay, this is important. All right, so what I'm trying to say is that there's nothing wrong with Facebook or LinkedIn or a flyer or anything of those things. There's nothing wrong with them, but they are part of a system. There are actions as part of a system, and you always need to calculate and see if it brings you a profit. Okay, and that's what we're actually trying to do in this training and later in the more advanced trainings. Most of you are far away from this situation, right? That you have a system that actually works for you and generates for you profits, no matter day in, day out, right? How many of you are still far away from that? Okay, thank you for the honesty. Now, most entrepreneurs are opportunistic. Okay, they think if I can get to these 1,000 people and put my message in front of them, then everything will be right. You have no idea. Maybe some of you know how many people are coming to me in the business bootcamp and say, "Listen, I have this great thing to offer people. Can I get 1 minute on stage just to tell them about that?" And they're looking at it as a great opportunity, and that's opportunistic thinking. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's opportunistic. There's no thought about it. There's no process. There's no system for that. They, of course, will get a no anyway, but that's okay. The trying is very good, but there's no thinking behind it. So most of us have this hope. If I would just do this, then I will get this amazing result. How many of you ever had that? Okay, if I will just do this, if I could be in the papers, or if I could just send this brochure to everybody that was in the business bootcamp, or I could, send it to everybody that was in this conference or whatever it is, then, things would change. How many of you had once or twice, this idea? Okay, good. Thank you for that. You know what the problem is with this idea? It sucks. Okay, it's one of those ideas that suck. Okay, it's time to change your approach for marketing, and that's why we're here. Okay, so we're going to start with our system. So we're going to start looking at your business model. Marketing is very, very tied to business model. Business model is how you make money. That's the definition of the word business model, is how do you make money? What is the system that allows you to make money? Now, when we are looking at your business model, because you all have a business model. You thought about it, you didn't think about it, it's conscious or not conscious. You all have a way to make money. So that's your business model. So most of you are trying to make money on what we call the front end. So a prospect comes to you in any way, shape, or form. If you have a shop, they come into the shop. If you have an office, they call you or they visit your website. Or maybe it's a company that asked you for a proposal. It doesn't really matter. But somebody that came to you for the first time, and they ask you for how much it is, and basically what you're doing is you're trying to make money out of them. So you tell them a number, you give them a number, this is what you're going to cost you, because you're trying to make money for the first time that you meet a prospect. And that's a big mistake. Huge mistake. And 99.99% of you are doing it. And if you're not doing it, it's because you already did the master entrepreneur, you got the point. Okay? Because that's how we learn. You know, you don't go to a supermarket and not buy something, you know, for the first time. They don't give you something for free, right? You actually buy something, any shop. You know, people come to the shop to buy. You're used to that. If you're seeing something, you go into a dealership or a car dealership, and you say, hey, I'm interested in that Toyota. They tell you, well, it's 25,000 euros. That's how we're used to, but that doesn't mean that it's the right way to do it. It doesn't mean that it's the best way to do it. It's possible. It's just not very good. Okay, it's not very good. In the front end, which means in the first time that you meet a client or a prospect in this case, your job is to get as many qualified prospects as possible to get them to know you, to like you, and to know you, like you, and trust you. Okay, that's the first step in the front end. You want as many qualified people to get to know you, who you are, what you do, get to like you. Again, who you are, your businesses, your product, and then to trust you. And this is a process that works in stages. First, they need to know you, then they need to like you, then they need to trust you. That's how it works. Okay, by order. That's all. That's the only thing you need to do at the first time that you meet a prospect. Most of you try to get a sale. Only after people saw or got to know you, like you, and trust you through the front end, only then you want to offer them what we call your back end. And that's where you make the money. That's when you send them to your product or service that actually makes you the money. And 99% of the companies in the world just don't get it. Just don't get it. I'll give it to you in another way for those of you that it will be helpful. How many of you have a product or service that thousands or maybe even more people than that can benefit from that, that can help them in any way, shape, or form? Thousands, maybe millions. Okay, so I think we have all the hands. I hope we have all the hands, and those of you that don't raise your hand, I hope that's because you're tired and not because you're saying no. Okay, you should have thousands or millions of people that could benefit from your product. So they're all here. Okay, they're all over the world. Today, they're really all over the world, right? Most of the products and services in the world today you can sell to anybody. Now, there are a few of those that what we're trying to do is to catch them in what we call the circle of trust. This is the circle of trust. And we want to bring some of them to join your circle of trust. Circle of trust means they know you, like you, and trust you. Okay, those are people that can benefit from your product or service. Those are the black ones. Those ones in the green here are those that already know you, like you, and trust you. Here's a question. No one of them paid you yet. No one of them paid you yet. Now you have a few people that are inside your circle of trust and millions of people outside of your circle of trust. Let's say that you're going to put a promotion or an action or whatever it is, and you offer them now to buy your product or service. Which ones are more likely to buy what you offer? Those people that are outside of your circle of trust or those that are inside your circle of trust? Inside, right? Those are people that are much easier for you to sell them than to those people. Would you agree? Yes. Guys, it's always like that. Okay? If you need to choose between somebody that you know and somebody you don't know, you will go for the somebody you know to buy from. If you need to choose from somebody you like or somebody you don't like, you will choose for the somebody you like. And if you need to choose between a supplier that you trust and a supplier that you don't trust, which one would you prefer? The one you trust, right? Now, this is really important because studies shows, and it changed. In the past, it was different, but today it's so big. It's much easier, much faster, much cheaper to sell to those people in 30 to 40 times. 30 to 40 times. So let's say that that it costs you €1 to get that person in, or 1 hour of conversation to get that person in. It will cost you €30 or €40 to get that person in promotion, advertisement, whatever it is, or 30, 40 hours of convincing them. This is big time difference. Just think about it. How many of you could I get from just seeing a Facebook ad to get to buy €3,500 course? Anybody from Facebook ad would buy that course? Just by show of hand? Really, nobody? Okay, she said, I'll take you, yes. And maybe another one. Okay, so we have from 600 people, we have 2 people. Guys, 2 people. So we're talking about 300 times easier to get you in here because I had the know, like, and trust than if you wouldn't know me. Do you understand? Yes. Guys, this is crucial. Get the point. We're working with front and back end, and that's why we fill up rooms like that. Okay? You're trying to sell the 3,500 to the first person that come in. That's what you're doing. Now you manage to get 2 when I'm going to manage to get 600. So that's a big difference, guys. That's a huge difference. Okay? So what you want to do is to create a business model which we call the Febe. Okay? We call this business model the Febe, and this is, when you get that, it's going to change your life. Febe stands for front end, back end. Front end, back end. Okay? This is the business model that we're working with. Your front end job, the front end, whatever it is that you have as a front end, that job is to get them in. In where? Into the circle of trust, into your circle of trust. Your back end job is to keep them in. Okay? Your front end job is to get them in. Your back end product, whatever it is where you make the money and where you keep them in your circle of trust. So if you need to choose, which one would you choose, a front end or a back end? Okay, everybody that chooses for front end, can I see a show of hand? How many of you think that this is most important? All right, how many of you think that the back end is most important? No, you're wrong, both of you. You must have both. You must have both. You must invest time, money, energy, any other resource you might for those 2 separate systems. They are totally separate. They are not connected to each other, and you need to invest in both. Both systems must be in place, otherwise you won't have a business. Or at least you won't have a marketing system. Okay? We're trying to create a marketing system that's something that actually is a repeatable process that generates a profit. That's what creates that. That's the system. Okay? 99% of the marketing consultants in the world don't get it. They either divide it to those that will tell you how to get new clients, so they're all about getting new clients, so they understand front end, or you have those that tells you how to keep relationship and how to manage relationship and how to keep clients happy, etc., and they understand the second part, which is the back end. But I don't know any consultant that really understands, not just heard about it, but really understands front and back end system like that, and that's not a surprise that 99.99% of the companies don't do that, which is a shame. Okay, which is a shame. So you need 2 strategies. One to get them in, and one to keep them in and keep them coming back again and again and again. So we're going to organize that Febe system into what we call the funnel. And you heard from me saying the word funnel a few times in my introduction. A funnel in Dutch is trechte, right? And you have the drawing for that somewhere in your notebook. It's the 2nd or 3rd page. You will see a funnel with 4, I think it should have something like 4 stages. So the first part, to attract people, you attract them through your what? Through the front end. You attract them through the front end. If you can see, the reason why it looks like a funnel is because here you get the maximum amount of people. But the more you go down, you'll get less and less people. Okay, this is important. You understand? Okay, so this is front end. So what is this? That's the back end. Okay, that's where your back end is. So you bring them in, which we'll talk about in a moment how and what. You bring them in. Now they're in your circle of trust. Now you're bringing them to the back end where you make your money. Right? Guys? Back end. What's this? Think. This is the back end, so this is the next level. It's called back end 2. This is the back end to the back end. Okay? You finished to give this, you finished to sell them this, now they're happy, and you're offering them back end 2. So what is this level? Back end 3. You're so good. Back end 3. How many of those you can have? As many as they are willing to buy. As many as they are willing to buy. So the top one is your front-end offer. All the others are your back-end offers. Okay, to understand the front-end offer, I'm going to go back to the circle of trust. Okay, to the circle of trust. Front-end is a little gate that you have here, and you're offering people to come in through it. That's your front-end offer here. There is a front-end offer. There's something that encourages people to come and meet you for the first time, get to know you, and then like you and trust you. When they are in, then you can sell them as much as you want as long as you deliver value to them. It will be very easy. You're sitting in the room as a result of that. You're in our first backend. Do you understand that? All right. Okay? That's why at the beginning here, the front end, you don't want to make it too difficult for them. You want to make it as easy as possible, as cheap as possible, as less risky as possible. You want to get as many of them in that are qualified. You don't want to get to a situation that they need to trust you a lot, because they don't. They don't know you and like you and trust you at the beginning. They cannot trust you a lot. If you're coming and somebody's coming to your website and they see that for this specific service or product that you have, it's going to cost them 400 euros or 1,000 euros or whatever it is, it doesn't matter, even 70 euros an hour for that, then you're right now asking them to put money for somebody that they don't really know, like, and trust yet. Okay, that's a big risk for them, and you don't get it. You keep on doing it all the time. A company, big company, huge company, is sending you a request for a proposal, but you never worked with them before. They send the same proposal to 10 different suppliers, and you're actually doing what they ask you. And you tell them, this job is going to cost you 10,000 euros. Why would you do that? They don't know you, like you, and trust you. Why would you do that? It's like going for a day, you're going for a bar, and you're sitting in the bar, and you see this great-looking guy, girl, whatever it is, and you chat them up for 30 seconds, and you say, hey, let's go up and have sex. That's pretty much what you're doing. You just got to meet them. They don't know you, like you, trust you, and you're just offering sex. That's exactly like telling them, pay me money. Now, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have sex with, it might be. Okay? But you're going to have 2 out of 600, and now it's not true for everyone. I mean, if you really look great and if you're smooth and everything, you might get lucky more times. Okay? We call it in marketing terms that you have a what? A remarkable product. If you have a remarkable product, you're going to get more people to buy from you without them knowing you, liking you, or trusting you. That's what Apple is doing. Okay? I don't even like Apple, and I still have all their products because they have remarkable product. Okay? But this is very rare. It's very rare to have people that can go in a bar, chat somebody up for 30 seconds, and go with 100% of them up to the room to have sex. It's possible, but for that you really need to have this remarkable product. Most of us don't have it to this degree. So I suggest that instead of going and doing this way, why don't you, when you meet somebody, spend some time, have a drink, get to know each other, then maybe invite them for lunch, then maybe, go for a dinner and a movie, and the fourth time you say, hey, we had a good time, let's go and have sex. What will be the difference in the conversion, guys, in most cases? Where will you have better conversion? When you took the time for that, right? When you first build up the knowing, liking, and trusting. And that's what we're trying to create here. That's what we're trying to create in your business. And I use this crude example on purpose because hopefully that will get the point home. That when you're sending a company that just asked you for they asked you for a proposal and you actually send them money, request, any money, you're actually basically saying, hey, I don't know you, but let's have sex. This is actually what you're doing. And you're losing the deal, 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, if not more. Because you're doing it wrong, because you don't have a system, because you don't have a front end, back end. Does that make sense? Yes. Did I upset you enough? Yes. No? All right. All right. Now, we are spending on our front end. What is our front end, guys? At least it used to be. The business bootcamp, right? Most of you, almost all of you have been in the business bootcamp. That's our front end, guys. The front end is a free event, free for us, because we don't see a cent. You pay a little bit, which is great, but you basically pay to the NBC. We are even financing that. So we don't see money from that. On the other hand, we spend 100,000 in order to put all this in place. Okay? How crazy should I be to put 100,000 euros in order to bring 1,000 or 1,500 people for free into an event? Not. Why? Because this is my front end. Because this is my front end. Where do I make my money, guys? Right now, and 9 other trainings, including the business university that quite a few of you are going to take, and other trainings. I know exactly how many. I don't know who, but I know how many of you are going to take the business university. We have the budget. We have the budget from January, the budget for the whole year. We're usually not far from 10 to 12% in and out from that. I know how many people will take it. We do that for so many years. This time probably we'll have a higher conversion because it's the last time. Always last time we get more people, which you should, because you won't have any other chances to do that. So you should seriously think how to communicate that to your partner so you can take that. But that's how we make that. And we'll show you later all our levels. And I will be as transparent as possible to show you how do we choose the pricing, how do we get the numbers goes down. Guys, we have 3 or 4 events of 1,000 people or 1,500 people for the business bootcamp. Then we get 600 people to the master entrepreneur. Then we get less people to the business university, and we get less people to the mentoring programs that I'm doing. That's okay, but the prices goes up. Does that make sense? Yes. Guys, do you understand? Yes. That's the business model you want to have in your business. Are we okay so far? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. All right. Now, before we go for lunch, I'm going to give you this is the business model, guys. This is the business model. Okay, understand that. This we'll talk a little bit about it later. It's not so important for now. It's very, very important. Not so important for now. For now, it is important. The Febe funnel, we call it the Febe funnel, front-end, back-end funnel. It's front-end and everything else is a back-end to the back-end. You will see, I think, that you have some arrows there that goes like this, something like that. Yeah, you have it? If not, just draw them. Okay, what is the arrow stands for in marketing terms? There's a name for that. Conversion, yes, very good. Conversion.